You've been taught your whole life that without Jesus, you're nothing. That your mind is corrupt, your heart is deceitful, and your value is in your obedience. That your desires are dangerous, and your pleasure has to be justified. That your agony is a love letter to a God who keeps moving the goalposts. A God draped in power, yet paradoxically fragile enough to be threatened by your questions. A God of wrath cloaked in mercy, whose grace is bizarrely conditional, whose love requires eternal indebtedness. My friends, Christianity is entirely irrelevant to your real life, to your actual breathing, aching, beautiful, fragile life, to the ache when you wake up and wonder if you're allowed to love yourself without condition, to the quiet suspicion that your existence should not require an apology or wait for validation from the pulpit, and that maybe you were never meant to be a sheep. Christianity is irrelevant to your body, the one you were told was a threat, a trap, a defiled temple, a vessel of temptation, and a stumbling block. Christianity is irrelevant to your tears, your hunger, your breath, your ache to feel something real, to the strange beauty of need and the sensual logic of being alive, to your soul, the one they said didn't belong to you, a soul held hostage, signed over in guilt, bartered for celestial approval, redeemed only through blood, valued only when surrendered, a soul threatened with hellfire if it wandered off script, monitored by angels and shadowed by demons in a cosmic war you never volunteered to fight. Christianity doesn't teach you to love yourself, it teaches you to crucify yourself, to mutilate your essence in pursuit of spiritual purity, as if self-compassion were pride, and inherent wholeness were heresy, as if the only worthy testimony is one soaked in repentance. But this world, this vivid, aching, electric world is not a test, not a pilgrimage toward glorification or a temporary exile from heaven. It is your one exquisite chance to live, to make meaning without surveillance from the sky, to ache and still rise, to stop paying rent on your own breath, to fall in love with your own heartbeat and never apologize for it ever again, to love and delight in your existence. Christianity doesn't teach you to feel at home in your own skin. It trains you to see your body as an adversary, not an ally, to exile yourself from the only sanctuary you were ever born with, to wait for heaven while your real life rusts in the corner, to make you store up treasures in heaven while starving here on earth. You were never broken, you were breaking open, shifting towards something more whole and real. You were drenched in longing, not sin. You're not a wretch, just a wanderer. You were never the problem. You're not a sinner in the hands of an angry God. You are a human in the hands of your own becoming, too complex for reduction, too luminous for confinement, too wild for their walls, too radiant for their rules. You're not a project. You're a person, not a disciple or a convert or a living sacrifice. Christianity is irrelevant to your real life, which is happening right now in the mess, the quiet, the laughter, the ache, and the profanity of stubbed toes and whispered orgasms, and coffee and stillness and conversations that don't need permission to be beautiful. You're not washed in the blood or covered in righteousness, just real, whole, and human, in the breath you take without asking, in the ferocity of knowing you're already enough. You're not fallen, not depraved. You don't need salvation. You just need to be free, to breathe like you belong here, because you do, because you always have, because staying alive, fully and fiercely, was your holiest act this whole time.